Good afternoon, and welcome to ByteRipple. Today we are going to be looking at Introduction to HTML, as I mentioned the last time in our installation of the virtual environment we'll be using in this course. So today we are going to be talking about HTML, its importance, and how to start up writing some basic program using HTML as a markup language. So welcome to the world of HTML. In this session, or in this lesson, we will explore what HTML is, its significance, and how it serves as the backbone of web development. What is HTML? HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is the backbone of web pages. Like when you visit any website, the way the website looks, the text in terms of the contents, how you have the headings, you have some paragraphs. This is what HTML is used to accomplish or to get. So we use it in organizing everything from headings to images so that browser can display the contents nicely on the web page. So a browser basically is what a JavaScript engine that enables us to see how that enables us to display our HTML documents on the screen or a computer screen. So what is the relationship between HTML and web development? So the HTML is essential for web development because it simply allows browsers to display content correctly. It makes it the first step for anyone looking to dive into more complex web technologies like CSS and JavaScript, which I believe we are going to be working on in the future. So let's compare HTML and other markup languages. So unlike the XML and Markdown, which serve different purposes, HTML is all about showcasing content on the web with its rich set of tags for layout and design. I know this might not really make sense to you until we do some demo. So while we are doing the demo, I'm going to be explaining better on some of these concepts we have mentioned on the slide. So what is the structure of an HTML? So an HTML document begins with a doctype declaration, which is what is highlighted in the red. So we have the question mark with the doctype. We have the opening tag, question mark with the doctype, and the HTML, and the closing tag. So followed by the HTML elements, which houses the head for metadata and the body for all the visible content we see on the web page. And mind you, all these tags wouldn't be shown on your browser or wouldn't be shown displayed on your desktop, but on the back end, these are what makes it possible for you to see the content on your websites or on your web browser or displayed on your computer, as you can see. So elements and types, what are their roles in HTML? So HTML has different types of elements like headings, paragraphs, images, and links, each with its unique role in organizing and displaying content on the web page. Simply put, an element is two tags that holds content in between it. So in an element, we have the opening, that is the head and the tail, that we can also say the opening and the closing tag. So in between it, we have the content of what we just like I've shown before. The head and the body is a type of, the head tag and the body is a type of elements. But this might not sound so well until we do more demo. Moving on, now we are going to be creating our first file on HTML. Okay, that is writing our first program on HTML. So by doing so, let's get our hands dirty by doing some practicals. So right now I'm on my desktop. To start off, you have to create a folder. Okay, so this folder is where we are going to be doing all the practicals on HTML until we finish all the modules we have for this course. So just right click on your desktop, click on new, click folder, then name your folder lesson Well, it depends on you, but I'm going to be naming my folder lesson 1 underscore lesson underscore 1 underscore html. Enter. Yes. Okay. Now you drag this and drop it on your VS Code. That way it opens the VS Code for you on your desktop. You can close this. Then to start working on your project, because this is a folder that will contain all the files you will be creating for your HTML project. So the first thing is to click on this. Remember, I told you, whenever you don't know what an icon is, place your cursor on it, it gives you the name. Now we have new file, right click on it, then write index, lowercase index.html, enter. Now we have our HTML file. So mind you, index could be anything. So .html is an extension for the HTML file, okay, because we are going to be creating an HTML document. So like I said, there are actually shortcuts to getting a boilerplate for your doc type or your markup, your HTML markup. But in this case, I'll be typing from the beginning since we want to take everything bit by bit. So you open, to start off, we start from the doc type. So we open an opening tag, which is doc type. Mind you, I have my IntelliSense on, that's why you could see this. But for you, I would prefer you type it. You add code the doc type, okay, space HTML, close. Then on the next line, you type HTML, and you close it. Then it automatically gives you the closing tag. So this is the opening tag, HTML is the opening, and / HTML is the closing. So this is an HTML tag. Between it, in between it, we are going to be having what is called the head, which was what I mentioned the other time. So now in the head, we will have other metadata. For instance, we have maybe the meta tag, or we have the title tag. So let's say for the title, let's say the title tag. So title, okay, so the title is what will appear on your browser. So by the time you open this on your browser, this is what is going to appear at the browser tab. Okay, for instance, if we say my first HTML project, okay, so this is what is going to appear on the browser tab. Then here we can have the body within our HTML, which is the main metadata, or the meta tag, or the main tag for the markup or the doc type elements. So we have the body, okay, and within the body we can have other HTML elements like h1, as I mentioned earlier. So we can say heading 1, okay. We can have the paragraph tag P, and we say paragraph 1. So this way we could have as many HTML elements within this body. So within this body are the things that are going to be appearing on your browser. When we open this with our browser now, we are going to be seeing all these things that is written here. So this is the first step to writing the HTML, your HTML program, and here is like the backbone of every project you are going to be working on. So just know that HTML, or like an HTML or a markup language, is like the skeleton part of your website. It structures the whole website, and eventually there will be interactivity, there will be styling, there will be maybe connections to data, fetching data from databases, which is not what we are talking about here now. Now we are going to be learning how to structure a website. So with this, if we right click, since we have installed the extension live server, if we right click and we click on open with live server, this is going to open what we've done on our browser to show us what it looks like. So here we have it. It said heading 1, which is what we wrote heading 1 in the paragraph tag, and we have the paragraph 1, which is what is there on the P elements. And remember I talked about the tab. So we have my first HTML project on the browser tab here. So this is basically how you write an HTML. This is how you write, or we start the creation of a website. So I would say that you've successfully created your first web page, and from now on, we are going to be talking more about some other aspect of this particular course on HTML. So we're talking about the HTML editor, the basics of HTML, and the elements, attributes, headings, paragraphs, stylings, and so many other things are going to be looking into as we move on. So in summary, we have successfully created our first web page. We explored the basics of HTML, its role in web development, and how to get started. So I will advise you keep practicing, but before we go, you will have a challenge. Your challenge is to create your own HTML page with a heading and 2 paragraphs introducing yourself. So save it as index.html and preview it with the live server, just like I showed you. If you can't remember, you can rewind the video to have a recap. So feel free to share your screen, like a screenshot or your code snippets in the comments section. I would love to see your progress. Always remember, small bites makes a big impact. Keep learning, keep practicing. Practicing is very, very important. And I hope to see you next time.